Most people have tried to get their finances together at least once. Usually it goes the same way. Something triggers it. A scary bank balance, a credit card statement that arrives at the wrong moment, a conversation where someone mentions their savings, and you realize yours looks nothing like that. And for about 2 weeks, you are genuinely on it. You track your spending. You feel good about it. You tell yourself this time is different. And then something happens. A work trip, a birthday dinner, a week where everything costs more than it should, and the momentum breaks. And then somehow 6 months pass, and you are more or less exactly where you were before you started.
That cycle is not a discipline problem. Most of the people living it are perfectly capable of discipline in other areas of their lives. The reason it keeps happening is a sequencing problem. Most financial transformation attempts fail because they try to change everything at once. Budget, savings, debt, investing, spending habits, all simultaneously from day one, which creates an unsustainable cognitive load that collapses the moment real life applies any pressure at all. What actually works is layering, starting with clarity, building structure on top of that clarity, then adding momentum on top of the structure, in that order, over 3 months.
This is not a video about becoming financially perfect in 90 days. 3 months is not enough time for that. What 3 months is enough time for is understanding exactly where you stand, eliminating the biggest leaks in your financial life, building the habits and systems that do not require constant willpower to maintain, and starting the things that compound over time. That is a realistic and meaningful set of outcomes for 90 days. If you want more plain English financial content that actually tells you what to do and why, subscribe and give this a thumbs up. Now, let's build the plan.
Month 1 is about clarity, not change, clarity. This is the part most people skip because it feels less productive than making immediate changes. It is actually the most important part, because you cannot make good decisions about your financial life if you do not have an accurate picture of what your financial life actually looks like. Week 1 of month 1 has one job: the honest audit. This means sitting down, actually sitting down, not just thinking about it, and writing out 3 things. Every source of income you have and exactly how much it is after tax. Every fixed expense that comes out every month: rent, utilities, insurance, subscriptions, loan payments, and a realistic estimate of your variable spending: food, transport, going out, clothes, the miscellaneous category that tends to be larger than anyone expects.
Most people who do this for the first time discover 2 things. First, that their fixed expenses are higher than they thought, usually because there are subscriptions and recurring payments they have been ignoring or forgetting. Second, that their variable spending is significantly higher than their mental estimate of it. The mental estimate of your own variable spending tends to be about 60–70% of what it actually is. The honest audit closes that gap. At the end of week 1, you should be able to answer one question clearly: how much money comes in each month and how much goes out? If you cannot answer that question with specific numbers right now, then everything else in this plan depends on getting there first. Week 2 of month 1 is about finding the leaks. Now that you have the picture from week 1, you are looking for spending that is happening without conscious decision. Not spending you are choosing, spending that is just occurring because you set something up once and forgot about it. Subscriptions are the obvious category. Most people are paying for between 3 and 7 services they either barely use or have completely forgotten about. A music streaming service they switched away from, a fitness app they used twice in January, a software subscription for something they stopped doing, a premium tier of a service they never upgraded their usage to justify. But the leaks are not only subscriptions. Food delivery services have made it remarkably easy to spend large amounts of money on food without feeling like you are spending large amounts of money on food. The average food delivery order in the US in 2026 is around $47, including fees and tips. 3 orders a week is $564 a month. Not because someone sat down and decided to spend $564 a month on food delivery, because the app is frictionless and the individual orders feel small. The goal of week 2 is not to eliminate all discretionary spending. It is to make the spending conscious, to turn automatic spending into deliberate spending. Every subscription you identify gets a decision: keep it or cancel it. Every regular spending category gets acknowledged. You know what it is and you are choosing it. That shift from automatic to deliberate is worth more than any specific cut you make.
Week 3 of month 1 is about finding your number. Your number is your savings rate, the percentage of your after-tax income that does not get spent. This is the number that determines how quickly your financial situation improves, more than your income, more than your investment choices, more than almost any other variable. After the honest audit in week 1 and the leak identification in week 2, you now have enough information to calculate it. Divide what you are currently saving each month by your monthly take-home income and multiply by 100. If you earn $3,500 per month and you are saving $175, then your savings rate is 5%. If you are saving nothing or going slightly negative, your savings rate is 0% or below.
There is no universal right number, but there are useful benchmarks. A savings rate below 5% is fragile. A single unexpected expense can wipe it out. A savings rate between 10% and 15% builds meaningful financial security over time. A savings rate above 20% produces genuinely significant wealth accumulation over a decade or more. The goal for week 3 is not to hit a target savings rate immediately. It is to know your current one with precision and to identify the realistic ceiling, the highest savings rate you could achieve if you eliminated the leaks you found in week 2 and redirected that money to savings instead. For most people who do the week 2 exercise seriously, the ceiling is meaningfully higher than the current rate. That gap is your opportunity. Week 4 of month 1 is about automation. This is the most important week of month 1 because it transforms everything you have learned in weeks 1 through 3 from information into a system. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to a savings account for the day your paycheck arrives. Not after you have seen it and decided what to do with it, the same day it arrives. Start with whatever amount the savings rate calculation from week 3 suggests is realistic, not the ceiling, a sustainable starting point. If you have a 401k at work and you are not contributing to it, or contributing less than the employer match, change that this week. The employer match is the closest thing to free money that exists in personal finance. Leaving it on the table because you have not got around to it yet is one of the more expensive forms of procrastination available. Cancel the subscriptions you identified in week 2 that do not survive conscious scrutiny. Not most of them, all of them. Every one that you cannot immediately name a specific reason to keep. By the end of month 1, you should have a clear, accurate picture of your finances. A system that automatically saves a meaningful percentage of your income before you can spend it, and noticeably lower fixed expenses than you started with. That is not nothing. That is meaningful progress, even before month 2 starts. Month 2 is about structure, specifically about 2 things: building a financial cushion and dealing with expensive debt. The first priority of month 2 is getting to $1,000 in a separate savings account that is not your checking account. A high-yield savings account at a different bank than the one you use for day-to-day spending works well for this, because the slight friction of moving money between banks makes it less likely you will dip into it casually. Why $1,000 specifically? Because nearly 60% of Americans cannot cover a $400 unexpected expense without going into debt or selling something. A $1,000 emergency fund does not cover everything, but it covers most common emergencies: a car repair, a medical copay, a broken appliance. Having it means that the next time something unexpected happens, you handle it from savings rather than from a credit card, which means you do not add new debt on top of whatever debt you are already dealing with. If the automatic transfer you set up in week 4 of month 1 is not going to get you to $1,000 by the end of month 2, Then find one additional lever to pull for this month specifically. Sell something you have been meaning to sell. Pick up one additional shift or one freelance project. Temporarily reduce a discretionary category. Getting to the $1,000 milestone matters enough to treat it as a sprint for 1 month. The second priority of month 2 is dealing with expensive debt. Not all debt, expensive debt. There is a practical difference between a 3.5% mortgage and a 24% credit card balance. The first is structured and relatively inexpensive. The second is costing you nearly a quarter of its balance every year in interest alone, and it is the single most effective thing you can do for your financial future to attack it aggressively. List every debt you have with its interest rate first. Focus all extra money above minimum payments on the highest rate debt first. Not the largest balance, the highest rate. Because the highest rate debt is the one actively doing the most damage to your financial situation every month it exists. There is a competing approach, the debt snowball, that suggests paying off the smallest balance first for psychological momentum. There is genuine merit to this if you need the motivation of a quick win to stay engaged. But if you are following this plan seriously through month 2, you already have momentum from the month 1 work. Use the mathematically correct approach, highest rate first, and let the momentum come from the progress you can already see. Month 2 also has a spending management component that does not require willpower. Take your post-savings take-home income, what is left after the automatic transfer, and divide it into 2 categories: fixed committed expenses and everything else. The fixed committed category covers rent, utilities, insurance, minimum debt payments, things that have a specific number and do not vary. Everything else is a flexible category with a monthly limit. The monthly limit on the flexible category is not a number you have to agonize over. It is what is left after fixed expenses and savings. Spend that freely within the month. When it is gone, it is gone. This is not a detailed line item budget. It is a simple boundary that prevents the most common form of financial drift, spending in the flexible category at a rate that is slightly higher than income in ways that never feel dramatic in the moment, but add up to a serious problem over time. By the end of month 2, you should have a $1,000 emergency fund that exists as a separate, accessible buffer. You should have made a meaningful dent in your most expensive debt, and you should have a simple spending management system that is running automatically without requiring you to think about it every day. Month 3 is about momentum, specifically about starting the things that compound. The first thing to start in month 3 is investing, even if the amount feels embarrassingly small. $50, $100, whatever your savings rate produces above the emergency fund and debt payment targets, put it into a broad, low-cost index fund. The amount matters much less than the act. The act of opening the investment account, if you've not done this through your 401k already, and making the first purchase is the thing that has repeatedly been shown to be the highest barrier for new investors. Not choosing the right fund, not timing the market, just starting. Once the account exists and the first purchase is made, subsequent contributions are dramatically easier. The friction lives almost entirely in the first action. If your 401k employer match is already covered from month 1, then you are starting from a better position than most. The additional month 3 investing goes into a Roth IRA if your income qualifies, and for most people reading this, it does, or a regular taxable brokerage account if not. The second thing month 3 is about is the review. Halfway through month 3, around day 75 of the 90-day plan, sit down and look at the numbers the same way you did in week 1 of month 1. Where is the savings rate now versus where it was? What is the emergency fund balance? What happened to the high-rate debt balance? What does the investment account show? Most people who do this exercise seriously and follow the plan through find that the numbers have moved more than they expected. Not dramatically. 3 months is 3 months, not 3 years, but meaningfully. A savings rate that was 2% might now be 11%. A debt that had been untouched for years might be $400 smaller. An investment account that did not exist 90 days ago
now exists with a balance. These are real changes.
The review also matters because it converts the abstract into the concrete. Most financial progress is invisible until you measure it. The measurement is what makes it real and what provides the motivation to continue into month 4 and beyond. Which brings us to the honest part about what 3 months actually produces and what it does not. 3 months is not enough time to pay off significant debt. It is not enough time to build a full emergency fund. It is not enough time for compound investing growth to be visible. If you go into this expecting those outcomes, you will feel like the plan did not work, even when it did.
What 3 months is enough time to do is build the systems and habits that produce those outcomes over the following 12 to 36 months. The automation that saves money before you see it. The leaks eliminated so they stop silently draining the budget. The emergency fund started so it exists and is growing. The debt being attacked in the right order. The investment account open and funded. 3 months sets up the machine. The machine runs the financial transformation. They are not the same thing, but you cannot have the second without the first. Month 4 is the most important month. Not because anything special happens in month 4, because month 4 is when the novelty has worn off, the initial motivation has faded, and the only thing keeping the machine running is the systems you built in months 1 through 3.
If the automation is in place, if the savings transfer happens automatically, if the investment contribution is automatic, if the minimum debt payments are automatic, then month 4 takes care of itself. You do not need motivation or discipline or the right moment to start. The decisions were made in months 1 through 3, and the systems execute them going forward. That is the actual goal of 3 months, not a transformed financial life, a set of systems that transform your financial life while you are busy doing everything else.
Small and consistent beats dramatic and temporary every single time. The person who saves $200 a month automatically for 10 years builds more wealth than the person who saves $2,000 a month for 3 months and then stops. The math on this is not complicated. The behavior is where it gets hard. And the behavior gets easier when the decisions are made once and the systems carry them forward. 90 days. Clarity, then structure, then momentum. In that order. Starting with whatever today looks like and building from there. That is the plan.